Yo, this your boy Pete Camp putting the stamp on it, and I'm just about to chop up this whole Jay-Z Rock Nation NFL thing that's going on. It's a lot. It's a lot to put down, but we about to get into it. Look, off rip, let me get into something that I just found out that may be false that y'all may not know. JD did an interview today with Big Tigger. He says that the thing that everybody is imagining that happened when they said Jay-Z called him and told him not to take the deal is actually false. Jay-Z, it was something along them lines, but Jay-Z called him when JD, and then JD, let's say this, the NFL was giving him a lot of offers to do a lot of things. He was apprehensive, but he was in the mix to do a lot of stuff. He was right there in the mix. He had I think he said he cut the ribbon or something with Roger Goodell and the mayor. You know what I'm saying? So he was in the mix to do a lot of things and getting a lot of offers to do a lot of things concerning the NFL at that time. He was beginning to be standoffish about doing them because of the flack he was receiving from everybody in and around the situation. Everybody was trashing him and dragging him and doing everything they could do to get him to stop it. So, boom, he like, what I am going to do is I'm going to throw a concert at Centennial Park. I'm going to have this, we going to get into action. We're going to try to get the conversation started and keep things moving forward. The parents of some of the kids that had been slain in the streets had meetings with JD, Jermaine Dupri, and it didn't go well. They said it was taking blood money. They was trashing him. He started to feel bad, which is hence why he started to pull out of some of these deals or ignore some of these NFL deals that he was getting. Now, the call he got, he did get a call with Jay-Z, from Jay-Z. Jay-Z was like, yo, you kind of know what side of this I'm standing on. I'm not trying to disrespect or, what you're doing, but, we just had to call and have a conversation. From that, media ran with it and said that, Jay-Z told him not to take the deal, and, and now Jay-Z taking the deal. So, that's proven to be false. But they did have a mutual conversation where it was like, yo, come on, bro. Kind of like, I mean, I see what you're doing, but you see what I'm doing too. And, just calling it, touch base with you and see if we can work something out. So, with all that said, I still think what Jay-Z is doing is kind of corny. I ain't going to call it coonish, but I will call it kind of corny. Because the thing that gets me about the whole situation is that you was the biggest voice in this whole situation. Even though Cap got the talk started, you was the biggest voice to me that kind of amplified everything. When you turned down the Super Bowl show, and then you did a song with B about it, and you like, yo, we in stadiums too. I turned down the Super Bowl. Like, rap fans ate that up. Not only rap fans, but fans around the world of hip hop and of black justice and social justice or whatever. Like, we ate that up. We loved that. You know what I'm saying? Because we was like, yo, somebody finally standing up and saying something in a situation that's really messed up, you know what I'm saying? And y'all getting down on Cap for this. And it's like, yo, I'm so glad that Cap started the conversation and planted his knee in the ground and did that. But it's like at the same time, when Jay-Z entered the conversation and signed off on it too, it amplified it to another level. And that's kind of why it's like kind of corny, where it's like, now in the end, y'all been flying back and forth and having talks for the past year, and you and Roger Goodell is chuckling it up, and you know what I'm saying? It just, it looked bad, bro. It looked bad for y'all to be just sniggling and giggling. You know what I'm saying? And then you get on the stage and you talking about we're past kneeling, like, let's get to action. I get what you're trying to say. I understand what you're trying to say. And I'm not downplaying what Cap did or what you said. But at the same time, it's like, just like Faison said, like, who is you to speak for all of us to say we past kneeling and this, that, and the other? But Faison, I gotta slip this in. You like, when did he become Jesus and all of it? He became Jesus when everybody start calling him Hov. This was years ago. I thought it was weird, but I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I called him Hov too because that was the name he named himself. But I'm just saying, at the time, I'm like, oh, like Hov, like you, come on, you're doing too much with this play on Jesus' name, bro. You like, stop doing that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. The song come on, you get into it, and you just, ho, it just happened. Yeah, I ain't mean it. Jesus, please forgive me for this blasphemous heathen that's talking on this tape. But I'm just saying, you get into it and it happens. But that's when he became Hov. And nobody blinked in, and it continued. And to this day, he still is named Hov. And people kind of have likened him to some type of, I ain't gonna say he put on that level, but it just, once you keep saying it to people, and then he's this big figure in hip hop, it kind of becomes this thing, like, and he ain't even on that tip. But that's a whole nother conversation. But anyway, I still appreciate Faison for digging into him and saying it how it's supposed to be said. You know what I'm saying? But to go on and move on from that, it's like, I thought it was corny what Jay-Z did and how he's flipping the script and going back and then you're not giving us no details on the situation and how things are going to move forward, how you're planning to create action from the whole situation. I dig that you want to create action, but what's happening? What kind of action are you creating? Because to me, it feel like you saying, okay, let's move to the next level and let's create action. But it looked like you just saying that because you're doing a deal with the NFL. And you about to get these hundreds of millions or however much money you about to get from this deal. It's going to be big. I know that. But you about to get this money. So it's like you saying this, let's put the social justice issue right next to it so it doesn't seem as bad to my people, because I know they're going to rip me for doing this when I was the one yelling whatever to the NFL. You know what I'm saying? But the thing that kills me about it, Hov, you a smart dude, man. You are so intelligent. You gotta know this, man. And I'm kind of mad at myself for even saying it, because I know you know this, but you're still going along with it anyway because you're a capitalist and you about your money. That's why you're a billionaire. I'm not mad at that, but go and get your money. I'm not mad at that. You know what I'm saying? You got to get your money. But I'm just saying it still comes off as corny because you was the strongest voice we had in this whole situation. And now that's kind of deflected and diminished. Because not only did they get you, the NFL, this is why I despise some of the white people tactics that happen in these whole situations. Because white folks know that you was the strongest voice that said what you had to say about the whole situation. And that's why they came out in the end and was like, that's the guy we got to get. This is who we need on the squad. He the one that turned everybody against us. You know what I'm saying? He the one that kind of stamped it. Cap started it. Eric Reed, all the players from the NFL, they was with it. Not all of them, but a lot of them was with it. But Jay-Z confirming it and turning down a halftime show, that puts a different spin on things. And when you spin it like that, it's like, the NFL is smart enough to know that's the guy we need to get on board to make this all right. And the thing is, how do you not know how do you not see that they using you, bro? They using you to be this pawn. And come on, you just hit billionaire status. You don't need it. Not saying that you shouldn't want it. You know what I'm saying? Who don't want it? If you're a billionaire, you should want to be, you want to get to 2 billion. Why not 3? Why not 5? Why not 10? Why not let's take it to 1 trillion? You understand? So I'm not mad at the ambition and the goals that you set for yourself and the way that you move about doing it. But at the same time, you got to see that they using you, bro, because you was the stamp. Now they want to take the stamp and stamp it on their papers and make this whole thing go away. You don't see that they signed. It was almost the anniversary. Some people say it was the anniversary. I was looking up some stuff. I couldn't pinpoint it exactly. But the first day Kaepernick kneeled was August 14th, 2016. Then what I'm pulling up about when they signed the deal, they either signed it on August 13th or August 14th. I'm not totally sure, but most dates are popping up as the 13th of 2019. 2019 is when you signed the deal with the NFL. So it's like they using you and then they stamping it on the same date. You know what I'm saying? They want it to come up on Google. You know, look, white folks don't get offended by this, but y'all know the ones that's cool. Y'all know how some of y'all people operate. Just like you know, I'm from the hood. I know how some of my people operate. You dig what I'm saying? Everybody ain't like that. All white folks ain't like that. But I'm just saying, y'all know how some of y'all people operate. This is how they want to change history. The winner always gets to change the way everything was written down. And what they doing is they want to go on that same date. They want to get Jay-Z, the guy who turned against them, the NFL, and tried to bring it down and tried to, you know, get them to act right. Be like, yo, we're going to sign this on the same day that he kneeled. So what happens then? When you pull it up on Google, what happens then? The first 20 reactions are going to be Jay-Z and the NFL, not Colin Kaepernick first kneels to bring awareness to Black lives and how we matter. It's a whole different vibe now. You know what I'm saying? But hey, if you can't see they using you, I don't know like what else to tell, but I'm interested to see where it's going to go from here, what you're going to do, what type of action you're proposing. You said it's about action. I want to see what type of action you're going to take in this whole deal and what you're trying to do to change things, you know what I'm saying? Because to me, ain't no type of action you're going to take that's going to change anything worth really getting into unless we talking about changing laws. And that's a whole nother thing. I mean, you know, white folk ain't giving up them laws. You know, I'm just gonna tell you like that. It ain't gonna happen, cousin. But all I'm saying is, I know you and Kanye feuding right now, but this situation seems eerily like the Kanye situation, right? Back in the day, we saw Kanye. Yeah, I know you beefing with him right now. Back in the day, Kanye, Bush hate black people. We was like, man, Kanye is the greatest. I love Kanye. Best thing ever happened since sliced bread. Then you fast forward. And he wearing MAGA hats and promoting Trump and all this stupid, okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then you just fast forward and you be like, yo, this kind of disappointing, bro. Now with the Jay-Z and the NFL thing, I won't put that on the same wavelength as that. Like the Kanye thing seemed kind of coonish to me. A lot coonish. I ain't gonna say kind of, you know, a lot coonish to me that it seemed. You know, we got something out of it. I guess his wife, you know, was like, he taking the hit too hard. Let me go get some black folk out of jail and see if I can flash this booty to make some laws move around here or something. And she, you know, she working it. She doing what she can do. And we appreciate that. But I'm just saying the whole situation with Kanye was kind of coonish, but it started off good. He was like, yo, this the chip we got that we gonna change the game with. And then it was like, this chip is broken. Who licked all the barbecue off my chip? What's happening with this? And it feels a tiny bit similar to that. It's like Jay-Z was the chip that was talking and saying everything that we wanted to be said. And then all of a sudden, he's signing a deal with these dudes. It's like, what type of chip is this? Where's the barbecue sour cream on my chip? But I digress. I want to see what he's going to do because, like I said in the beginning, I understand. About that money. And you have to take into account of this as well. Kaepernick did sign an agreement and settled. You know, because I'm going to give it to you real. I'm going to give you both sides of the story. I ain't going to tell you just the lopsided joint. But Kaepernick did sign a deal in an agreement to settle with the NFL and get some money. How much it was, he didn't disclose. And let me just say this. I was disappointed that in this whole thing that Jay-Z was doing with this social justice and all of this, why was Kaepernick and Eric Reed or not involved in this? That should have been like the first thing. And why didn't you flex your muscle to get him a job again in the NFL? I still want him to play on the Lions. I would take Kaepernick right now over Matt Stafford. You dig what I'm saying? Instantaneously. I don't even care no more. Stafford ain't cutting it right now. Okay? Did y'all see the first 2 preseason? I saw them. I barbecued and everything. I almost threw my barbecue in the garbage, but it was good. But, just saying, whatever. Why didn't you flex some of that muscle to get some of that done? And if you plan on flexing it, I feel like it's too late because you already signed. But on the flip side of the coin, everybody that's talking junk about this, don't get too judgmental because I know y'all been watching football. You dig what I'm saying? I tried to hold out the first year it was happening. I was holding out, but I had the Pookie shakes. I was shaking like Pookie in New Jack City. I gave in. You dig what I'm saying? I started watching it at other people's house like they ain't going to get my TV on there. I'm going to watch it at the bar. You know what I'm saying? But I gave in. I don't even think a year had went past. I gave in. And a lot of y'all did too because the NFL stats just kept creeping back up. So how are you now? How y'all discussing the NFL and the Super Bowl and this, that, and the other, and you actively watching games? That's your NFL deal. That's the equivalent because most of us are low levels in this game. We work and go to work 9 to 5 and do regular stuff with regular people. And ain't nothing wrong with that because we regular and I'm proud to be regular, but I'm still extraordinary because my mama told me when I was little. But look, that's your NFL deal. That's really the most money that comes from the NFL is people tuning in to watch it on TV. The money that they make at the stadiums is kind of minuscule when you compare it to what they get on these TV deals and all of that. So if you're watching from home, how are you then bashing Jay-Z for taking a $100 million deal or however big the deal is for doing his thing? You understand what I'm saying? Because you gave in and Colin Kaepernick gave in as well. Which that was what he was out for. He should have been getting paid for these years of him not playing or being blackballed. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of feel like that through the last chip in to be like, for Jay-Z to be like, yo, well, I mean, he got his money now. He good. He ain't fighting no more. I might as well go and do this deal. You know what I'm saying? I might as well go and do this deal. And I feel like a lot of y'all are being disingenuous in the way that y'all kind of chop his head off. Like, I'm going to say I thought what he did and then what he's doing is corny because he was the strongest voice in what we had. He's reminiscent of a Muhammad Ali. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, but not as strong. Muhammad Ali was willing to go. He would go into jail for this. Whatever. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? He stood on what he stood on. And then like LeBron, you got LeBron, you know, he active and saying stuff that he shouldn't say, but he still say it and he still stand up for our people. So I'm glad that people is repping it. But at the same time, I'm like, yo, I think it was corny, but at the same time, I understand. This is a big deal. This going to feed the kids for a long time. And if y'all watching football, what do you really have to say to Ho? You know what I'm saying? It's not genuine to me to, you know, but I'm about real conversations. I look at both sides of things in both ways. And most of y'all already know you could get fired from your job right now. Somebody in the company, a manager could jump on you right now, cut you with a knife somewhere and, you know what I'm saying? Some disrespectful, just spit on you or something, just whatever. And then everybody was like, man, the way old girl got fired was out cold. And, you know, just throwing in there, why y'all jumping on girls like that? Y'all, that's disrespect. You spitting in girls' faces and stuff. I just use girl in that, you know, situation just to say that. But she'll get fired, right? And the next day, you ain't going to be picketing outside. You ain't going to quit your job to be like, I'm standing with Shirley. No. You're going to be like, Shirley, I'm going to call you after I get off work tomorrow. But, you know, we can go ahead. I'll buy you some tequila, Shirley. But, you know, I got kids. I got stuff to do. I can't stop going to work to appease what you doing. And I'm just saying, if y'all that mad at Jay-Z, y'all should have been that mad at the NFL players and everybody that was around that situation back in 2016, that they didn't stop going to work and doing what they had to do to collect their paychecks to speak life into the situation that we was dealing with. It's just, you know, you got to look at stuff real. Like, if you're not willing to do that, then I don't know how you could really be willing to tell Jay-Z not to take this money at this time, 3 years later, after he didn't spoke up for the situation. Me personally, I think it was corny because they was using you, and they still using you purposely to, be how they being. And people say it's for you to, you probably gonna talk to get an NFL team and this, that, and that. I feel like that should have been in the contract right there after that you signed, if this is what we doing. But I don't feel like too much is gonna come of it besides some money exchanging hands. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like it's gonna be that much that come of this. I hope it is more that come of this, but I think it was corny. I still think it was corny, but I still understand, like, ain't nobody about to give up no 100 million or whatever, because you got fired. Most of y'all ain't willing to give up $9 an hour because your homeboy got fired disingenuously or wrongfully terminated. You know what I'm saying? So if you ain't willing to give up $9 an hour, I don't know how you could tell Hov to give up however many million he's gonna make off this deal. But with that said, I still think it was kind of corny. You know what I'm saying? Like, just them trying to do it off the same date that Kaepernick first kneeled. You should know that they trying to really use you, bro, and make you look some type of way. And it's working. You know what I'm saying? It's working. They trying to rewrite history with you and take away from the movement that we was trying to get into. I'm going to say y'all because I broke down within that first year. But anyway, more power to what everybody doing, man. If you agree, you disagree, I understand on both wavelengths. You know what I'm saying? I understand both ways. Like, ain't nobody turning down that much money to keep business moving. And at the same time, it's a lot of things in the mix that we don't understand, that we may have yet to see. And, more shall come out, just like this JD interview that I saw. And that was a revelation to me that I didn't know. But, it is what it is. Everybody do your thing. And I'm just interested to hear the comments. Like, share, subscribe, do whatever you got to do to get your boy voice out here, because I be liking to talk sometime. But it's your boy P Camp, man. I'm just here sharing my thoughts. Trying to get a couple of yours too, mix it in. P Camp, putting the camp stamp on it, man. Get at your boy, tell me what you think. And we'll chop it up later.